Are you a wealth architect? That's somebody who wants to grow in all areas of life, not only financially, but mentally, physically, and spiritually. This is exactly what we're doing every single week on this show. I'm Emilio Despirito, your host of the Wealth Architect podcast, each and every week here. Wherever you're tuning in, we're glad you're here. We hope that this episode inspires you, motivates you to do something big, and maybe even blows your mind. Make sure you comment and interact with us. We'd love to hear from you. Let's get started. What's up, Wealth Architects? It's Emilio Despirito. I'm so pumped up to be here with you today. It's been a solid 2 months since I've been here with you on the radio. Listen, 11 and a half years on the radio, I needed to get a little bit of a chill pill and enjoy some summertime. I hope you did as well too, but we've got so much content ahead of us. We've got so much to share with you, so many wonderful people to introduce you to, and so much to learn. Before we get into that though, I want to talk about the current real estate market, specifically, look, not only across the country, but specifically here in Southern New England, okay? I'm telling you, this is the first time since 2019 I've seen more active properties hit the market with buyers having more choice, more competition for sellers. So now more than ever, strategically putting your home on the marketplace or strategically putting your investment property on the marketplace is so darn important. You're going to want to price it right from the get-go. You don't want to be chasing the market down. Buyers have more choice. There's fewer buyers out there right now, and you want to take advice from people who have their feet on the ground, who are in this industry selling at massive clips, okay? Super important, okay? You cannot price a property from properties that have sold a few months ago because the current market is different. You have to be strategic or else, I'm telling you, you're going to set yourself up for disappointment. You're going to set yourself up for some loss if you don't do it the right way. So look, I'm here for you. My team's here for you. Take down my cell. This is my personal cell, 401-359-2338. Be strategic, be smart, make as much money as you can. It's still a seller's market, but buyers are pickier and more focused on value than ever. Hey, a special thank you to our sponsor, Annie Mac Home Mortgage, whose Cash to Keys product is disrupting the industry. Sick and tired of finding the perfect home, not having your offer selected? I got to tell you, it happens all the time. With Cash to Keys, Annie Mac gives sellers a cash guarantee for each of their buyers' offers. Stop bidding and hoping. Instead, bid with Annie Mac and bid with confidence. Don't just bid, but win. Annie Mac Mortgage. When you're buying real estate, you need somebody that understands the ins and outs of the legal ends. It's so important to have the right attorney working for you. You also need a bulldog. Let me tell you something. The first time I sat in a conference room with this lady, Melissa Delana of Delana Law, I immediately knew she owned the room. You need an attorney that owns the room, that can solve problems and make things happen when everybody else can't. You want to hire Delana Law in Massachusetts, Connecticut, or Rhode Island. Delana Law delivers every single time. They're going to help you out with all of your real estate needs. It's delanalaw.com. You got to check them out. All right, so big topic today, right? Everybody is so concerned about their health, and it's funny, right? Looking back when I was a kid, looking at 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, man, I thought they were so old. But now that I'm in my 40s, I don't feel that we're old, but I feel like we look younger. And I got to say that people are so concerned now with their overall health, and it's a big thing. So why? I mean, you want to show up better in all areas of your life, and you want to live longer, and you want to be healthier. Well, why not? Okay, so there's ways to do it and there's ways not to. I've been hearing an abundance of talk about peptides, and I've looked into it, and I've spoken with a lot of people, and I see these influencers on Instagram peddling all of this stuff. So one day I decided to call an expert, and actually he was actually at my house. He's my trainer, and we're going to get into who he is in a second, but I know he knows this stuff inside and out. And what he told me about the peptide industry was actually pretty alarming. And there's a lot of stuff that you really need to know to make sure that if you are health focused, you want the energy, you want the muscle mass, you want the health, that you should be getting it from the right sources. And what the right sources mean, he's going to break it down. So who is this person? Who is this guest? His name is Coach Harvin Greene. And Coach Kearns has previously worked with roughly 15 UFC fighters as a strength training coach. He knows the body inside and out. He works with people on their mobility, on strength, and he is the best in the business at what he does. Over the past year or so, he linked up with a company called RBT, which is out of Europe, and they have a quality product, and he's going to tell us all about this. And he's going to break down, number one, what peptides are, who would benefit from these, what peptides are not, and what else is out there in the marketplace and how it compares to a quality product and really what the difference is for your overall health. So we got a lot to unpack here on this episode of The Wealth Architect. I'm pumped up to be back here with you. First time here in 2 months back on the radio. I love it. And we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Coach Kearns, welcome to The Wealth Architect.
Thanks. Pumped up. And I'm 60.
You are.
Yes, legit 60. So let's unpack this. First thing is I'm not an expert, okay? I've been in martial arts, Boston accent for what now, 45 plus years. And like I always say, one of my hashtags, always a white belt, always a beginner. Whether it's functional strength training, whether it's martial arts, it doesn't matter, always. I'm not a big fan of the word expert because if you're not learning, you're not growing. Let's talk about peptides. Great. Big subject, peptides, stem cells, and exosomes. It's the rage. RFK talks about it. It's all over the place. Now, let's talk about peptides. What is a peptide? Okay. You have protein, you have an amino acid, and then you have basically a peptide. It's a building block of amino acids. Amino acids are a building block of protein. Protein, eggs, milk. Well, not really milk. Milk's
Steak.
crap. Steak.
Chicken.
Yes, we know how much you like a steak.
Love steak.
Tuna. We know. Steak and eggs, I get it. I'm going there right afterwards. Now, the market is gray, for lack of a better word. It's a very gray market right now because they're unregulated and they're not, people say, well, they're FDA approved. Yes. So you have a couple different types of peptides, okay?
Well, hold on a second. You're speeding along. Our listeners might be like, all right, because you clearly know this stuff, but I got some questions for you.
Fire off.
Right, before you speed along, because I'm already kind of lost.
What are you lost on?
All right. So first off, does your body make, I'm not a scientist, does my body make peptides?
It does.
So it's naturally occurring in my body, in your gastro system, which would be what intestines are, I believe I know what that is, but.
Probably your stomach, your large intestine, small intestine, and mostly your stomach lining.
Okay, so what do peptides do in the basic?
There's 3,000 of them, peptides. Okay. We have about 57. So but if this goes back to even Pavlov's dog.
Yeah.
Pavlov, everybody knows the bell, the whole bit.
Yeah,
he was actually
salivation.
He was experimenting with taking gastric juices out of dogs' stomachs and giving them to patients. Something like which is a big thing now. They call it, what do they call it? The Wolverine stack, which we don't go by stacks, we go by protocols, because that's getting into steroids, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
PPC 157 is an anti-inflammatory. You have it naturally occurring in your system. What we do is boost it. But we boost it because ours are biologic.
Yep.
Most of the gray market out there is synthetic, which means they're basically synthetic.
So that's a big differentiator,
Huge.
right? Like, all right, so instead of putting something fake in you, you're putting something that is already naturally occurring in you. I guess what I'm concerned about is, does your body stop making this if you're taking it?
No.
Does it lessen the load that it'll give you if it knows you're injecting? No.
But you do want to go, the way we have set up our peptides. This company's out of Lithuania. They've been doing this for 20 years.
Yep.
They started with stage 3 and stage 4 cancer patients. No joke. So like stem cell therapy, that's what they started with. And they get into peptides as well. So this boost, it's almost like taking more vitamins.
Yeah.
It's going to boost your immune system. It's going to boost certain things. And it is technically, when you look at it, it's increased instead of your health span, well, I should say lifespan, it's your health span. Because who wants an increase in lifespan if you don't have a health span?
True.
I'm going to be, when I'm in my 80s, I want to climb Mount Capitan. That's what I'm looking at. Or I'm going to be the physical education instructor in Costa Rica. Let's go, kids, down, 83. Let's go, 83 push-ups at my age. That's what I want to do. But what good is it if you have no mobility, no strength, no nothing? So this is, and I'm going to be flat out honest, Big Pharma doesn't want this to exist, but it's too late because I'll give you an example. Insulin is a peptide. Penicillin is a peptide.
See, I didn't know that. I did not know.
I didn't know it either. I didn't know anything about this
Wow.
until they came to me a year ago because they want to basically
remember.
increase their market share here. They never thought we were going to do what we do because now technically I'm the chief growth officer for RBT North America.
Yeah, that's
So we
amazing.
own Mexico,
Congrats.
U.S., Canada, and the Bahamas, and South Africa.
Wow.
Working on Poland now too. So it's a gray market. You have to investigate. Now the thing of it is, be careful who you listen to. The challenge is it's become bro science. Well, if this guy uses this and this guy does that,
Right.
it's basically steroids. Everybody's different. So in our field, exercise physiology, my professor, Dr. David Thomas, God rest his soul, used to say this: there's very few generalities in fitness, on conditioning, or designing programs, and a lot of specifics. Our customers, we make recommendations based on what we know, and then they actually have to fill out a form, and it goes by clinician. A trained clinician to go, you need X, Y, and Z. I had somebody the other day that has some strange, I forget the name of the disease, but it's a strange arthritis. And I just talked to the guys in the UK today in Lithuania. They said, fill out the form because this is something different. It's specific. It's absolutely specific to what we need. And again, we grow ours. So they literally go from the lab to the pen, injectable pen, the needle's this big, and into you. That's it.
What is this big for our radio listeners?
An EpiPen needle. That's it.
All right. So yeah. So
There's no reconstitution of you have hydrostatic water, the powder reconstituted, plus ours last 2.5 years in the fridge. Most people don't realize once you get the peptide in and you reconstitute it with that water, at best it's 3 to 4 weeks, not to mention the potency is lower.
So how many shots come in the shot? Is it just like one injection, or is there multiple injections in there?
It depends on the system. It depends on you have GLP-1s, which are basically weight loss ones. That's a different protocol. Most protocols are set up dependent upon the peptide, which basically dial 10 clicks. And it's specific to what's in the peptide itself.
So it's like an EpiPen.
It basically is an EpiPen, but we're technically not supposed to say that because EpiPen is basically marketed. It's an auto pen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So EpiPen is probably like a brand name or something.
It is a brand.
You can't say. Okay. Okay. I got it. So is injection the only way, or can you blast it up your nose?
Yes. There's also nasal. And the funny part about that is a lot of people that are on the other peptides that are at best 20 to 40% effective.
Okay.
At best. And I'll put them on our peptides, which are 98 to 99% effective. That's what these other companies are doing. They're cutting it. They're getting there. You'll see a lot of unscrupulous companies in the U.S. going, well, we manufacture our peptides in the U.S. I go, okay, where are the raw materials from? What? Where are the raw materials from? What? I go, I can give you the addresses of the 2 labs in China and India. You want the address? They're like,
wow.
Exactly.
China.
Oh, yeah. I walked in CVS the other day on the shelf. GLP-1s, weight loss. Oh, really? Pill form? Well, here's the problem. You take the pill, it has to go through your digestive tract, go through your liver, and you're going to get maybe 5% if you're lucky.
5%?
The biggest problem in this country is this, Western medicine, is we think what? When I talk to people about it, how much is it per month? That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Our peptides are designed to go on and go off as you need them.
Yeah.
We can give you a 30-day supply. That doesn't mean you use it in 30 days. We can give you a 30-day supply. You might use it 15 days. I feel better, put it back in the fridge.
So, all right, but so why I'm listening to this, and yes, you can get healthier, but like, tell me, let's break down a few areas where peptides could help like the everyday person. Like, let's just say that professional who is, always working, always on the go, that really wants to start focusing on their health, making sure that they look better, that they feel better. Like, what type of peptide is that? And like, how does it work? How does it target any which one of those areas?
Again, you have thousands of peptides in your system. Let's take something like
We
Delta
got
Sleep.
57. You got the Heinz 57.
Yes, but we have 3,000.
Yeah. Oh, you have 3,000.
In their bodies, there's 3,000 peptides in your body. Let's take sleep, for example.
Oh, that's a big one, man.
That's
I don't get enough
rather
of
than
that.
using trazodone, like some people do, we have something called Delta Sleep, which is a sleep architect.
Yeah.
That sleep is the best way to raise your HGH levels, not to mention recovery, health benefits, everything else. I've had plenty of clients go, oh my God, I've tried this, I've tried that. I'm sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours solid. Okay, that's what you need. I'm 60. Back in the day, you're like, oh, work all day, go to school, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You don't need sleep. Sleep, they're finally saying this, one of the most important things in the world. So that's one of them. Then you can go skin health. We have something called a copper peptide. we basically call it Skin Glow. It's called SKU, whatever the hell, I forget the name of it, but it's called Skin Glow. It'll actually make you look healthier. My tan is from.
I remember you kept tanning,
Oh, that's
tanning,
good.
and tanning. It was
Well,
like
and-
the winter. So, Coach, you're 60 years old.
Yes.
You're sitting here busting chops, right? You probably worked out with clients all day, right?
I've been
You're
up since
running
5.
multiple businesses.
Yes,
okay?
I'm multiple time zones.
Dude, you train me and you run circles around me. I'm 41. Okay. Like I will walk downstairs sometime. This guy's jumping on my little trampoline. Like, dude, my 8-year-old does that.
Good thing you didn't say you little tramp. That would have went over the wrong way.
Trampoline, man, trampoline. So I think a lot of that is obviously the fact that you've taken care of yourself over time. But I look at a guy like you and I'm like, all right, you've studied this your whole life. You've studied the human body
Still do.
your whole life. You've worked with fighters at the UFC,
NBA, NFL, you name it.
Okay. All right. And you train professionals still. Okay. So somebody like that holds more weight with me. And that's why you're here. I'm seeing a lot of people on Instagram, like these influencers that had nothing to do with the health industry at all, but are now pushing these Chinese peptides, this stuff that which you say is ineffective.
Well, less effective,
which is diluted, watered down, cut, and I felt it was important to make sure that people understood that and were careful where they were getting stuff.
Okay, so let's break this down. First thing I say to people well, we have us third-party lab tested. Who's the lab? That's like me giving you a cup of sand and going, Emilio, is there salt in here? You confirm there's salt in here. So if I give you a cup of their stuff and go, is there BPC 157 in here, which is a peptide, anti-inflammatory, you say yes. You're not confirming what the potency or the concentration are you. So we tell them, try qualify assay test. What's that mean? You dump everything out and then analyze it. Ours will come up 99 to 98%.
Wow.
Effectively. And then you have to look at the other side of this, okay? Then you do something, okay, are your peptides, so this is what I would tell a client. Do you want Chevy, do you want Porsche? I want Porsche. Okay, I'll get one of these days. Is your peptide being manufactured or the wrong ingredients being manufactured in what's called a GLP, Good Lab Practices Certified Lab? Okay, that's the first question. Is it in a certified GMP, Good Manufacturing, I can never get those words up, practice certified, ours are. And we also have something called European Medical Association licensing. Okay, that's higher, I hate to tell you this, for all you Westerners, it's higher than the FDA. It's accepted in places like Japan, which is really strict.
I love Japan.
South Korea. Okay, it's accepted there.
South Korea too.
Yes, but you can't get stuff in there if it's FDA approved. I mean, let's face facts, people. You go over to, you've been to Europe. Why is there 400 chemicals in our food over there, but 10,000 here?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The people are way healthier there.
Way healthier. Does anybody know that there's a 25% tax on sugar? So your Coca-Cola is 25% less.
Here?
25% less sugar there than here.
Oh.
That's why they're healthier.
Wow.
There's no lobbyists for pharmaceuticals. There's no commercials for pharmaceuticals on TV at all. Every other you ever watch football? Every other commercial is pharmaceutical.
I don't watch TV.
I don't either.
Garbage.
Most of it depends on what you watch.
Trash.
That's fine. That's your point.
And I don't want to wear another man's name on the back of my shirt.
Well, it's sports. Who cares?
Why am I? Yeah, I know. There's a lot of sports listeners will be like, Emilio, you're a jerk. But dude, that's like, I just can't do it.
Well, yeah, when people go upset
all
that
excited.
Brady left. I burnt his shirt. He went to Miami. Like, I care. He doesn't care.
I don't. My whole family watches it. They're obsessed. They're excited about it. And we're going off subject, but I do. Well, just for the record, I do not want to wear another man's name on the back of me and parade around as if like I'm his girl.
I appreciate. That's fine.
Right? Like,
well, you might.
People are clicking the show off. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. We still love you.
Let's just go down that road for a second. I work with a lot of sports athletes. Okay.
Yeah. And they're amazing.
Absolutely. And NFL, the whole bit. But here's the thing.
We won. The fans say.
Okay. Here's the big thing, okay? When I train them, I hold them to a higher standard. And I'll tell you why. You're influencing young people.
True.
So you better have more class. You better do things the right way, or I will get in your face, which I have been gotten in people's faces. Like people like Glenn Davis. He's 6'8".
I have no idea who that is.
He was called Big Baby, Celtics.
Okay.
We got in an argument, chest to nose, because he was 6'8".
Wow.
Yeah. And I told him, I go, clean up your
Those
act.
guys are beasts, man. They're huge.
Well,
and I give athletes a ton of credit. Coach.
I'm not saying that they don't deserve a ton of credit. But what about respecting our veterans? What about respecting our law enforcement? What about respecting our first responders?
Those are the real heroes, yeah. Those
Go
are the
online.
real heroes.
Yes.
How about business people? How about landlords? How about the everyday people
how
that
about small
stick their
business?
necks out there?
Oh, well, now we're
How
getting off
about the
subject.
peptide peddlers?
No, not them. I actually had a guy. I had a guy on Facebook rank on me. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah blah blah. Any 40-year-old can beat you up. I'm like, okay, come down to sit your tongue in Somerville. Let's go. And he had on his Facebook page hormone specialist. I go, what's a hormone specialist?
Oh, you spelt it all wrong?
He spelled it wrong. I went, and he's reading this thing about GLPs. You can see him. This is what this does, and this is what that does. Da, 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 da. I go, you're reading from a script. I go, are you kidding me?
See, that's the problem, right, with social media, Coach, is that everyone's an expert, okay? Like, look, by the way.
I'm not. I refuse to say it.
It's just, there's too many people that are getting their voice out there and too many people listening to the wrong voices. And, you know, and some could say, Emilio, maybe your voice is the wrong voice. Well, whatever. You know what? That's why I ask questions to people that know more than I do. Right.
Well, look at it this way, right? Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the world. It's always the buck.
It's always
where's the integrity? Where's the loyalty? Where's the honor? When I was a kid, you know, I'm 20 years younger than you. When I was a kid, it was about having a customer, not a consumer. Like when I show people the peptides, I actually had somebody say this. I won't say who it is. I had somebody say they already had the peptides. You know, they did the other peptides, and they were dealing with the beautiful people. She was in her 30s, and I said, listen, our peptides aren't used on a regular basis. You go on them, go off them. No, she said, I'm not telling my that. I go, oh, so you want them on the recurring revenue stream. Look, we all want to get paid on a regular basis, but I'd rather have referrals. RBT, who we represent, they don't advertise. 95% retention rate, and they haven't advertised in 20 years.
Yeah.
0.
So, all right, wait, let's unpack that, what was said. So she's selling peptides.
She's selling the gray market peptides, which are the compounds.
Okay, all right. So that's a whole different company. It's a whole different thing.
And she has 4 clinics.
Less effective. She called her customers, a derogatory term and said she wants to basically keep them hooked on this. So tell me, the peptides that you're offering, the peptides that you're
representing,
RBT, that you represent.
Well, that technically is BWK Authentic Edge. We're the front-facing brand.
Okay.
They
white
white label.
Okay. All right. So those, though, are meant to take as needed. And not to get people on the subscription-based hooked type of thing. So is it safe to say that somebody could use these and get off and not have to go back? Or
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
Will they continue to have those gains or continue to have those improvements without it, though? Probably not.
Not as determined. Here's the problem. Like, look at Ozempic, okay?
Oh.
Eli Lilly made $13 billion. Technically, it's a peptide, but there's other crap in it.
Yeah.
You know what it costs to make Ozempic?
How much?
$50.
About $50.
And they want $1,500. So if you listen to Callie and Casey memes, they're the ones who got RFK and Trump together.
Yep.
Not to get political, God forbid.
Whatever. I
Nowadays.
don't care. Whatever.
When they got them together, I remember Callie, the brother, saying he was Big Pharma. He worked for Big Pharma. And, and Casey, his sister, she was ENT specialist. He said that he was at one of the big, I won't say who it is, God forbid, because we'll get fined, one of the big, what do you call it, investment companies. Okay, this is 2016, 17, maybe 2018. And they showed the trend of obesity going up in the U.S. It was a big investment meeting. They were clapping. And he actually spoke, he said he spoke to a senator same year that they were talking about giving Ozempic to 6-year-olds.
Yeah, that's wild.
Versus backing fitness, backing healthy eating habits.
Stop feeding them junk and Doritos and garbage.
Okay, we can go down this rabbit hole, ultra-processed food, okay? You're talking Nabisco, right? Kellogg's Post. Who bought that? Big Tobacco back in the 70s.
Wow.
Where's high fructose corn syrup come from? From them, to make food more addictive. Look at the 80s. We actually were wrong we told people the wrong thing. Stop eating fat, really? Avocado's bad for you? This is what they said in the 80s. Nuts are bad for you. Been around since the dawn of man. It's misnoming. It's misinformation. Who's controlling that?
Sad. Scary.
Pretty sad. Do you know what the average body fat for a male was back in 1990 when I graduated college?
13%.
15%.
15%.
Do you know what it is now?
37%.
28.
28.
You know what the average body fat for a female was? 25 because of child.
We can't talk about that.
Why? Because it's female?
They're going to smack you.
Oh, please. It was 25, okay?
Yeah, what is it now?
38.
Wow.
Okay? So that means since I've graduated, it's gone up 0.5% a year.
Wow.
Now, what does that do to the healthcare system?
Yeah.
Most diseases in nature are epigenetics, stress, lifestyle, the whole bit, and also what's called hypokinetic, lack of activity.
Oh, dude, activity can change your life. right? Just a little bit. Going for a walk, breathing,
the whole point.
getting some sun.
The whole point. That's the whole point. When you think about the peptides, people are like, oh, take the shot, I'm going to lose weight. Well, guess what? If you're still going eating French fries and going down to, with Shake Shack, what do you expect? You got to educate people, and then you got to stop the madness of what's going on. Eat, real simple. Eat less, move more. Done.
The issue
Move
is
and improve.
is that literally since kids we're fed this stuff. We go through the drive-throughs. We're fed.
Yep.
We're always running around. People do not have the time necessarily to prepare this or that. But that's what they say. That's BS. Shut the TV off.
Yep.
There's time. There's always time.
Okay, shut the TV off. How about shut the internet off?
Oh yeah, the phones. The phones.
The phones, the iPads.
Really
I've gone into restaurants on dates, and I've seen every kid with an iPad.
My son, I do not. That's a rule. There is no screen at the table. No. This is a time where we socialize. This is a time where we learn eye contact. This is a time where we learn please and thank you and courtesy to others. We also learn how to sell. We also learn how to be hospitable. We also learn how to be a servant by watching those who are the best at it. Shout out to our friends in the hospitality industry. Man, these people work super hard.
How about the Dale Carnegie method?
What?
Be genuinely interested in people.
Yeah,
Show honest appreciation. That's what it's all about, right?
It's huge.
Why not?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the peptides.
But that's where they learn that. That's the bonding, and that's where that. But
they learn by doing.
Yeah.
Versus going on Instagram, right?
Do you have any peptides that give common courtesy to people?
I wish, because I want to inject a bunch of people. I can think of a list.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you because you're the host. Let me look at him. I'll look at him too. I'm going to tell you the problem right now. That is the problem with the entire society. Time. They don't have enough time.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse. Nobody has time. Nobody has time, right? How many times do you go to a restaurant, okay? I'm not saying you, and Lucas, I know you're married, the whole bit. How many times do you go to a restaurant? How many times do you see people on their phones? Couples eating dinner, right, Lucas?
Oh, that's whack. People on dates.
How about married couples?
Yeah, no. Awful,
my phone goes away.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you should be engaged. Back in the day, where Dedham Hilton is on the highway, I used to walk in there. This is back when I've been in this business for 38 years. Back in the day, every sales guy stopped there because it was off the highway. There was a bank of New England telephones because they're on their phone doing their thing with their daytime. That's all gone.
Yeah.
This thing is an addiction. And then where do you get your information? Like I've seen peptide commercial, beat Godzilla, fight King Kong. I'm like, really? That's the biggest jackass I've ever seen in my life. So what we're doing now is we're making fun of it. What's called the Peptide Planet, the Three Amigos. Me, my partner Tim, and Andy. We're doing it. We have a whole song, as you know, the whole bit.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to make fun of it, but educate. Our job is to educate.
Yep.
Educate.
It's important, people.
No, seriously, in this stuff,
you
need to educate yourself.
So, all right. So our listeners are, if people are still listening to this, because I think a lot of people shut off the radio over many different things. I mean, that we talked about this time around.
And
if you're just tuning in now, I want you to feel free, check us out, wealtharchitectradio.com, right? And you can see this, you can probably hear the segment. I don't know if it posts right away. We'll get it on there, whatever, right? Just check it out over the week, right?
I'm sorry I'm wearing like tan. I offended everybody.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, look, if you missed any of this segment, there is a lot of good information on here, and we're having a lot of fun. And I'm sitting here with Coach Harvin Greene. We're talking about peptides, and there's a lot of misinformation out in the marketplace. There's a lot of really low quality products that are coming over from China and Coach Kearns in India. And Coach Kearns is breaking down a product from Europe, which has some of the highest certifications, I would imagine,
highest
in Europe, but they don't have FDA, right? And we talked about that as well, too, in this segment. So,
well, here's the problem with the FDA. If you go through a clinical trial with the FDA, level 1's $1 billion.
$1 billion?
$1 billion.
Just a billion. Just $1 billion.
And then level 2 is another $1 billion. Believe me, I've talked to high-level doctors about this. They have no clue. They confirm. I'm not going to say what university it was, what high medical field it was. 2 university-educated doctors in their 50s said to me, the orthopedics, they said, we know every orthopedic surgeon is on peptides but won't recommend it. Look at Dr. Huberman when he had Dr. Bakari on. Dr. Bakari was talking about peptides at length. He even said he's used them. The problem is this, you're getting blocked from finding
illegal?
No, well, it's a gray market. And now RFK, certain states, Florida's legal, Texas legal, Utah's legal, Tennessee's becoming legal, Nevada's legal.
So like if somebody takes them, can they get arrested?
No.
So are they illegal or illegal? It's gray.
It's gray.
Yeah.
There's a difference. It's a gray area.
Wow.
Just like it, well, here's the fun part. My partner's now in Guadalajara. He's down in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Everything's legal there.
That is literally the medical tourism capital of the world. Bahamas, we do business in Bahamas, legal. Canada, legal.
Yeah.
South Africa, legal. All of Europe, legal.
Wow. So it's just the FDA kind of.
What do you think that's all about? Duh. It's about big pharma, but they're not going to be able to stop it. This will remind you of the CBD a few years ago.
Yeah.
CBD, and then if you look down CBD, why was that blocked? Okay, then you're gonna talk about William Hearst, because William Hearst owned a media company, which was paper, and he owned paper mills and lumber yards. That's why I got first Constitution in the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp. Why is hemp coming back now?
Wow.
Interesting.
That's a beautiful product too, by the way.
And for people's pain.
And less deforestation.
Now, let's go one level more. Let's talk about stem cells. Stem cells got a bad rap for a long time because people said they're coming from abortions. No, they're not. They come from cord blood, placenta, umbilical cord, which are donated. Our company, what they do, we have a tissue bank. It gets donated by women that are vetted. And in exchange, what we do is we basically give them our stem cells, our peptides, and our exosomes free for cancer patients. Free. No joke.
Wow.
This is the new longevity market. This is the new world. You know what this is? This is 1776. And you know what we're throwing over instead of tea? You know what we're throwing over? Pills. Just go to a pharmacy.
Pills and junk peptides.
Pills, junk peptides, junk food.
Yeah. Yeah. People are so much more health conscious.
They're so much more health conscious. Here's what kills me, okay? At 60. We have information at our fingertips.
You look great at 60.
Thank you. Information at our fingertips, right? And what do we do? What do we do?
I don't know.
I listen to this guy. This guy says this. It's like, what's the average? I bet Lucas knows this. What's the average span on an Instagram post, like for people to view? 7 to 12 seconds. Marketing. Let's talk about marketing. How much time do you actually have to get somebody's attention now? What is it, 3 seconds?
3 seconds, not even.
So our attention span has gone down.
Yeah.
Down.
Huge.
So let's look at the whole thing. Let's put it all in a ball of wax. Physical education's gone down.
Yeah.
Down.
Bad.
Like when I used to grow up in Everett, right? We had the whole playground, baseball, it's gone. It's all buildings now.
Awful. What do these kids do?
I don't know. And then people can go, they can chime out of fitness, out of gym class. There's no more recess. I remember, 15 years ago?
No recess?
No recess. I remember 15 years ago, they banned tag for inappropriate contact. I'm like, what?
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Kids need to play just like adults do.
My son has recess.
Not all schools have recess, brother.
Wow.
And look at and God forbid, I get the school shootings. I'm all against that whole thing.
Of
but
course.
Since that side, every kid has to have his phone. When I was in school, when you went to the principal's office, you were in trouble. You couldn't call mommy and saying, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
And you know what's the problem is? Resilience. Where's the resilience and where's the respect? Where does that come from? Put them in physical education. Put them in something. Our ancestors were physical. They chopped wood, made butter, you name it. They had to do their own things.
I mean, I literally, I think it's clear like that our culture is being dismantled. All right. Little by little over the years. And we are a shell of who we used to be.
Pretty much.
Morals and all of that stuff. And yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I don't, whatever, but not whatever, but it is something we have to deal with. And that all starts at home. It really does. But anyways, listen, if you have any questions, don't call me with these questions because I won't know. You're going to want to talk with the expert. Well, he doesn't call himself an expert.
I refuse to.
All right. If he refuses to call yourself, don't.
Look,
all right.
hold on. Hold that thought. I'll tell you 4 things about me, myself, my company, my coaches, which are 2,417 coaches, okay? I don't know everything. I'm not going to claim to know everything. I'm never going to make you do an exercise protocol that you haven't done in yourself and thrown up. That's a joke. Haha, laugh. I will not endorse any product at all unless I personally use it and believe in it. That is my mission. That is my passion. Get it? That's the way it is.
Okay, cool. So how can they reach you with questions?
They can go to BWK Authentic Edge, BWK Authentic Edge, or Kevin at Burn With Kearns, or Kevin at reversebodytime.com.
All right, go back to the website, bwkauthenticedge.com.
Yes, or burnwithkearns.com.
Okay, either or. And I would love to be in the shape you're in when I'm 62. So Coach Kearns, a lot of
62?
respect for
I'm
it.
not 62.
No, when I'm
60.
62.
He said,
T-O.
You sure it's T-O?
Or T-O-O. It's T-O. Get out of here. Listen, I'm not an expert in grammar, okay?
That's for sure. Neither am I.
Oh, man. Look, we're having a lot of fun here on the Wealth Architect podcast.
He meant T-O-O.
I'm Emilio Despirito, and by no means do I endorse any products or anything on this show or any of the
Except for
people
his shoes,
that
his
come
watch.
in. Hey, bro, you know.
Why some
you gotta
socks?
look
Wait, are
good.
you? Is this Miami Vice or something? Don
It's
Johnson?
summer, man.
Don
It's
Johnson?
summer. You know what?
All right, Don.
All right. Go put that dollar store hat you came in on back
Hey, that
on.
thing rocks.
Yeah.
You just wish you could wear it.
No.
Yes, you do.
Awesome. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to be right back here. We got another great guest coming in.
Great guest.
We'll be right back here on the Wealth Architect Podcast. We'll be right back. When you're considering buying a home or a condo or even an investment property, it's so important to hire the right home inspector. Specifically, if you're in Rhode Island, the home inspector that I always like to recommend is Mike Auger of Patriot Home Inspections, homeinspectorri.com. Why do I use Mike? Number one, he's not an alarmist. He's not going to scare you. He's going to walk you through everything you need to know about the house. You can follow him around like a puppy dog. Ask as many questions as you can. He'll tell you how the heating system works, how the electrical works, how the plumbing is, and he could save you thousands of dollars or even a future headache. If you are looking to sell a home, it's important to disclose as much information as you can ahead of time, and Mike Ogren can put together a pre-list home inspection report. So when your realtor represents you and gives the buyer's agent the report, everything is disclosed that needs to get fixed, and the price is the price, and you sell your home like that. There's so many benefits to using the right home inspector. And again, Mike Auger with Patriot Home Inspectors, homeinspectorri.com. Check them out. All right, welcome back to the Wealth Architect Podcast. I'm Emilio Despirito. And, you know, one of the benefits of this podcast is that we get to dive deep into the real estate markets all around the United States, which is a really wonderful thing. And we're always here to grow all sorts of ways, financially, mentally, physically, spiritually. And real estate being one of my favorite topics is something that we're going to discuss here right now. We've got an expert on the other end. We have Harvin Greene. She's with Dossier Real Estate Brokerage. She started this brokerage after about 19 years in business. She's one of the top producers out in the Atlanta, Georgia marketplace. And she's also a member of Realm Global. Realm Global is the largest collection of real estate agents across over 150 brands, top tier people. It's like the country club membership of real estate. And Harvin is in this group with me and about 850 other top shelf realtors and real estate advisors around the country in 18 other countries. So without further ado, Harvin, welcome to the Wealth Architect Podcast. I'm glad to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So, look, I want to just let me ask you a couple quick questions about yourself so the audience gets to know who you are. We'll establish some rapport there, and then I want to dive into the Atlanta market a bit and see if there's any consistency to what we're seeing literally around the country, okay, in the real estate market. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how long, we just said 19 years in the business, but what your focus, what your specializations are in Atlanta?
Yes. So thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. I actually am a newer member to Realm. So like you mentioned, I launched my own brokerage in February, which has been amazing. And Realm has been a great addition for me. And, as I went independent to kind of have a network of people across the country and across the world. So, but yeah, I've been in real estate. I was at Coca-Cola for 10 years, early in my career, took a couple years off and then got in the business in 2008, which was like literally the worst time ever. And so, but I think it is kind of one of the keys to my success because I never knew it easy. So when I got in, every deal was complicated. And then, I've kind of seen, then we saw that, the slow build back up after that. And then we had the COVID times and when everything was a boom town and you couldn't even get a sign in the yard before it was sold. And now I feel like we're cycling back around. But, really for me, it's about looking at the business differently. I focus on high net worth, ultra high net worth clients, have sold the most expensive house ever in Atlanta. I live in town, which is a great place to be. So you may have heard of like Ponce City Market. Those, our in town has really had an amazing resurgence and redevelopment. But I live in a historic neighborhood called Druid Hills, which is where Emory University is, if you've heard of that. And so my husband's a builder. I'm also a designer. I also have a lifestyle brand, but we renovate historic homes in Atlanta. So our projects, they usually take 2 to 3 years to complete. We just finished our latest one and we're under contract with it right now. When I look at the Atlanta market, I look at it really sort of inside the perimeter and just outside of it. Atlanta has almost 8 million people, but that's in the metro area. So that kind of spreads. But really, it's about, for Atlanta, the different neighborhoods, one street can make all the difference in value. We don't have a lot of subdivisions in town. Everything was built mostly after 1920. Atlanta burned in the Civil War. So, we don't have, historic for us is the 1920s and some 1900s, but you don't find much older than that.
It's fascinating. You know what stuck out to me out of like a lot stuck out to me, but what really stuck out to me is I never knew it easy. I think that's what you said. I never knew it easy. And, whenever the market changes, I find that real estate advisors like yourself, myself, that have been in the game for 15, 20 years, we've been through so many different cycles. And it doesn't faze us. We just know we need to pivot. We're resilient. We need to do that. So, Harvin, I respect that statement out of you. And that says a lot. And the fact that you go and tackle aggressive projects like historic homes, let's talk about that for a second. Do you look to like modernize them or do you restore them?
Yes. So it's a combination of that. So what we do, a lot of them, we've done Philip Schutzes. We're in the process of finishing up a Francis Palmer Smith. So these are, kind of leading architects of the country that helped build Atlanta. And so we look at the property. It would be much easier and cheaper for us to tear these down and rebuild. But that's never our goal. Our goal is to try to preserve them, but make them work for today's buyer. So, where we may have, a whole wing that may have been originally designed for servants. That doesn't really happen now, obviously, but it's, we take that space and we may turn that into like a primary suite on the main, or, there was never like kitchen and family room together, but we try to reinvent it so it works and it flows well. But still retaining as much of the original architecture as possible. And so, like our moldings, we have recreated to match the original moldings. We take a lot of pain and effort in our design choices that feel timeless, like the house. But again, for the discerning buyer, it's, I source a lot of antique fixtures that I have remade because they feel appropriate for the house. So there's a little juxtaposition of, like today's modern conveniences, but really I try to make it feel like it could have been there in the 1920s. And a lot of feels like the kitchens feel like European kitchens because a lot of those are still in the original state, with the old marble and the soapstone and all those pieces.
I love it. Now, what does something like that go for?
The one right now is listed at $6 million. And so it's on 2 acres and it's about 10,000 square feet. And it's, we expanded it. This one we didn't have to do a huge addition to. Some we've taken from like 2,500 square feet to 8,000 square feet. But we try to keep the original facade, especially in Druid Hills, because we have a historic preservation district. So they don't want the facades of the homes to change.
Got it. Makes sense. Well, that's fascinating. I appreciate your expertise in those areas. And, I know if I'm in Atlanta or I'm around that metro Atlanta area and I need help and I'm an ultra high net worth or high net worth individual, I'm calling you. So Harvin Greene with Dossier Real Estate Bro. I had to give you a quick plug there. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So the markets have been shifting everywhere, and sellers, they're kind of trying to turn a blind eye to this, at least in my marketplace. And the information we're telling them here in Southern New England is not yet pushed out by the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, or Connecticut, because they're always reporting 2 months back. They just are, right? So tell me a little bit about the Atlanta market. Have you seen a change? Have things fallen flat? Have prices gone up? Have they gone down? Is there more inventory? What is the deal right now in Atlanta?
I know you guys are still in school or still in summer, but our schools started back this week. So they start back first week of August. Some start back next week. But really, we have seen a pretty significant pickup in the last few weeks. Things that have been on the market are going under contract. We're not able to even get some things on the market before we have multiple offers. So we're seeing things really shake loose. Our spring, which is normally our number one season, it fell very flat this year. And so I think, for us, our spring market really starts as soon as we start seeing the daffodils pop up, which might be February. I mean, once the grass starts coming in a little bit greener, we have these beautiful days in Atlanta, and it's before the pollen comes, which happens March, April, when everything turns yellow. But that's really our peak buying season, is early in the spring market. And with everything going on in the world, that fell flat. But I think now people have waited as long as they really can in this market. We have people like me. So I'm an empty nester, right? So I have a rate at 2.5%. My house may be too big for me now, but why would I move? And so, we have a lot of people that are in the same boat as me that aren't moving out of the houses, which these young families now want to move into. So we've had kind of a little bit of a logjam there. But I think people have finally decided that it's shaking loose. I think buyers are getting used to rates if they're getting loans, which most of my deals are cash, but they're more sensitive to the whole world economic picture. And I think people are also kind of just getting weary of the clickbait. And everybody feels like if they have something negative to say, that they're going to, be newsworthy. And I think people are seeing through that now, finally. It's taken how many years? But
Right.
I think they're just turning a deaf ear to that, and they're making decisions based on what they need to do.
Yeah, it's so important, whatever marketplace you're in, that you speak with somebody that understands the current market inside and out. Earlier in your segment, Harvin, you said you could be a street over and the value could change depending on the neighborhood, depending on the street. And it's so important, but also the current market conditions are not the comps that we're using to price a home. So when you're putting a home on the market, I cannot stress this enough, and I'd love to hear your take on it. In my opinion, when you're putting a home on the market right now in a marketplace where the prices have fallen flat or have come down a little bit, or really the demand is much higher when you're comparing yourself to other properties, meaning I meant to say the competition is much higher, the demand is much lower. You got to be strategic about this. And sometimes pricing your property a little under market value will allow more people to come in, and the market is going to decide where that property is going to sell ultimately. So you could either chase the market down, or you can have the market sell at the highest or price you up. So I'm kind of curious, what advice would you have somebody who is looking to sell their home in today's marketplace?
Yes. So, I've always said that pricing accurately is most important. So not putting a stretch price, because ultimately, I don't care what kind of market we're in, we see it get devalued. I mean, even in the crazy days right after COVID, buyers were willing to pay whatever. But what we saw is if you price it accurately, they're willing to pay much over ask. And I think that the market will still correct itself. If I don't think you can underprice a house in this market, because there are buyers that will compete for something that's a perceived value. So we always look at comps, and, there's a lot that happens off market here. And so we're looking at things that have sold, things, where should we be positioned against the active things on the market? If things are under contract, working within our relationships to try to figure out kind of where those things will close, because that will be a story very soon for us. But I also think it's about having a story about the house. That's something we feel strongly about within Dossier. Like, we look at everything in a unique way. So, for example, we have this beautiful, Italian paradise, really. It's a 1910 home in Druid Hills. It was built as a country house, and it's absolutely stunning. And so in order to get kind of a different set of eyes on it, we had an event a couple of weeks ago where we had a private chef come in and teach a pasta making class. And, it brought a lot of new, and we didn't invite just agents. We invited like influencers that, maybe are in design or designers, and they posted, and it actually brought us some new buyers that didn't even know we were out there, because a lot of these houses, especially the higher end of the market, are people that are moving within the neighborhoods. So a lot of people think, oh, it's somebody coming in from California or it's somebody coming from New York. That does happen, yes. But really, we see some of our best houses being sold to people that are moving up in the neighborhood and want to stay where they are. And they see the premiums, especially in Druid Hills. I mean, we have acre to 2 acre lots, which is rare in the city. And so, people want to be there. And now the prices are such that people can afford to do the right types of renovations to them, which is also key.
Wow, that's awesome. Harvin Greene with Dossier Real Estate. Awesome having you on here. I appreciate your expertise. And again, if you are out in the Atlanta, Georgia marketplace, you're going to want to reach out to her. That's awesome. Again, great. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. And her website, by the way, is heydossier.com. So HEYDOSSIER.com. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Harvin.
Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Take care.
You're welcome. You too.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. All right. What a fun show today. Man, if you missed the segment between Coach Kearns and I, you probably don't want to listen to that. We covered a lot of ground, probably said some things we shouldn't say on radio, and I'm probably going to get some complaints in, but hey, at least it's some sort of feedback, right? That's okay. Oh boy. All right. So listen, my name is Emilio Despirito. This is the Wealth Architect Podcast. I make no guarantees over any of the conversations or anything we discussed here today. We hope you enjoyed this segment and this show. And wow, what a great job. I'd like to thank Coach Kevin Kearns. I'd like to thank Harvin Greene, Atlanta real estate advisor, and with Realm Global, and also Lucas, our producer, AJ behind the scenes, everybody else at iHeartRadio, and we appreciate you. We'll be back here next week. Check us out, wealtharchitectradio.com. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Peace.